So let us center ourselves where we are sitting for a few seconds. Try to keep the back, the shoulders, the neck, the head in a sense of alignment. Be aware of your breath as it comes in and goes out. We'll begin with a Vedic chant, which is wishing that we all work together, grow together, and be nourished together. Sahana bhavatu, sahano bhunaktu, sahaviryam karvabhai, tejasvinavadhitamastu, ma vidvishabhai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. The topic for this session is Pranayama. So the first question is, what is Pranayama? So if you look at the modern yoga world, Pranayama is described as breathing exercises. Now that is like me saying you are just your little toes. Okay? Imagine I introduced you to someone and said she is a little toe. Would you feel happy with it? I hope not. So when someone says Pranayama is breathing exercise, I'm like, seriously? So then the question is, if it's not a breathing exercise, what is it? Well, the term itself gives us the first answer, prana. So what is this prana? Prana is the life force, the vital energy, that which makes us a prani, a living being. And that is why the loss of prana is aprana, is death. So that which enables us to be alive. Earlier this morning I talked about moving from doing to being. So if you want to move from doing to being, you need a certain catalyst. Transform and transcend. One word answer, prana. So prana is a catalyst that holds everything together. It is the glue that holds the cosmos together. Now, the fact that we are alive and that we all went out there and we could walk out, get the tea, drink it, come back in here, sit up, it means that we are all alive, right? I think all of us are alive here. If you're alive, just shake your hand, let me see it. Okay, fine, yes, okay. We have confirmed prana is there. Now I know you have prana, but did I see the prana? No. But I know you have prana because you are alive. So it is by what is called anumana, which is inference. I know you are having prana because I can see you moving. Now if you are lying in shavasana, I would have to look at your, how do I know whether you are alive or dead? Whether you are doing shavasana or whether you are shava. One is pulse, yes. The easier one from a distance, breath. You know, every new parent, when your babies are small, I've done it with both my kids. Middle of the night, you get up, you turn around, see whether the chest is moving. Ah, okay, fine. They are still alive. Now with my mother, being in the bed, middle of the night, if I get up and move around, I just peek into her room and, okay, chest is moving, fine. So well, so far, so good. The breath is a sign of life. So prana is life. So then what is the second part? Pranasya ayamaha. Ayama of prana. Ayama is not exercise. So, and prana is not just the breath. Okay, so that is why pranayama as breathing exercise is so far away from what we are actually doing. Ayama means, it is often translated as expansion. So they say, yes, the expansion of prana is pranayama. Now I ask you a question. We do certain pranayamas, for example, Bastrika, which is a rapid breathing. So it's a, where am I expanding anything? It looks like I'm contracting everything. Now, you know, if I go, it looks like I'm expanding, but so it is not an elongation, it is not an expansion. So then what is the word? It is an enhancement. So pranayama is a method to enhance our awareness of the life force. Now a breathing exercise is good for those who have lung disorders. Helps improve your vital capacity, FEV1 by FVC, tidal volume. Yeah, all that is fine. Breathing exercises do that. Do those exercises enable you to enhance your experience of prana? The answer is a big N-O. So this is where pranayama, whether it is rapid breathing, whether it is slow breathing, whether it is breathing in and then breathing out for double the count or triple the count, whether you are holding the breath in or holding it out, in all of these practices, of course, right nostril, left nostril, alternate nostril, what you are doing is you are enhancing your experience of this life force through the vehicle of the breath. So the breath is the vehicle to experience prana. And that is why pranayama is not breathing exercise. Because it is beyond, it is breathing exercise plus a million things. So when we want to do pranayama, we talk about 4 phases, and today we are going to be doing a few practices now that will build on what we just did earlier. You were all doing the humming. We are going to do a sequential practice, and yesterday those of you who were there in the evening for our fun time, we made some sounds A, O, E, M. We are going to make a few of those sounds with the breath today, because what I will be showing you is that when you make the sound, you can elongate the out breath better. And so I'm going to work on that, which comes back to the heart being a karma yogi. Normally we talk of 4 phases in pranayama. The first part is inhalation. What are you doing? It is the part where the universal prana, which is called maha prana or mukhya prana, comes into the individual. So you inspire the universe into you. That is the inhalation. It's not just the breath, but it is the universe becoming the individual as I breathe in. So it is called puraka. Puraka is not just inhalation. It is the universal prana becoming an individual prana. When I breathe out, which is called rechaka, it is the individual prana merging with the universal prana. So it is like you putting money into the bank and taking money out. Okay? Same thing. You put money in, you take money out. So taking money out of the bank is our puraka. Energy of the cosmos becoming the individual on the inhalation. Individual energy becoming the universal on exhalation. And that is why exhalation is always more relaxing than inhalation. Because when you inhale, Imagine this huge universe is becoming you. Oh my God, imagine the pressure inside. It is like, you packing your whole house into one suitcase. It's that type of pressure. But when you have to unpack, it is a release. So you feel a release, you feel a relaxation. So exhalation is always more parasympathetic, which is the relaxation part of the nervous system, autonomic nervous system. Inhalation is always sympathetic because it is all, oh my God, I have to stay alive. And I have to be the individual and do something. So the universal becomes the individual becomes the universal. That is the exchange, the energy exchange. Not currency exchange, but energy is a higher currency between us and the universal bank of energy. In between, we can hold the breath in or hold it out. So when I hold the breath in, what is happening? I am not breathing. So that is why it's not a breathing exercise, okay? I'm not breathing. But I am experiencing what it is to have the whole universe in me. And that is why Kumbhaka is so important in Pranayama. Because in Kumbhaka, you have brought in that universal energy and you are taking a pause. You're not just breathing in and breathing out. You're holding it so that you can experience what does the universe feel like. You're having a universal experience. And then, when you breathe out and pause, you have given up your individuality. And you are experiencing what it is to just be without any limitations at all. And that is why in our tradition we call it Shunyaka, the Shunya. Because you breathe out and you are just there. So the inhalation and exhalation are kinetic. The held in and held out are potential. And so if you have a pendulum, you have all seen a pendulum? If you haven't, it moves like this, okay? When the pendulum is at this end, what does it have? Potential energy. When it moves, it has kinetic energy. Now what does it have? Potential energy. Kinetic energy, potential energy. So now think about it. Inhalation, Puraka, is the universe becoming kinetic. Now in Kumbhaka, you are experiencing the potential of the universe in you. Then you are becoming the universe kinetic exhalation. And at this point, you are experiencing that Shunya Avastha. Kinetic, potential, kinetic, potential. These two potential energy states are your Kumbhaka. Antara Kumbhaka, Bahira Kumbhaka, which we call as Kumbhaka and Shunyaka in our tradition. One is Puraka, one is Rechaka. That is the experience of Pranayama. Now, will any one of you, when you go out of this hall, ever again say Pranayama is a breathing exercise? Can I have an answer? No. A better answer? No. A louder answer? No. Right? I hope now you understand why I get a bit upset when people do this. Asana is just a physical exercise and Pranayama is a breathing exercise and meditation is a mental exercise. Huh? Done. Yeah.
Check.
Check. Tick the boxes and now I can do something else. Now coming back. When we breathe in, a little bit of physiology. When we breathe in, remember I said inhalation is sympathetic. You have to get ready. And the universe has come into you, you better do something. Okay, so that's why when kids are born, they cry. Ah! Oh my God. Once again, that thing. When you breathe in, your heart rate starts to become faster. And when you breathe out, your heart rate starts to become slower. It is called sinus arrhythmia. Arrhythmia means a change in the rhythm. Sinus means it's not these sinuses, it means from the SA node, the pacemaker of your heart. I call the pacemaker as the Guru Hridaya Manas, the Guru in the heart who keeps on prodding you to do the right thing all the time. Because it's an amazing tissue. It doesn't need to be told anything, it does its job constantly sending the signal. Coming on. So, When you breathe in, the heart is going faster. When you breathe out, the heart is going slower. Now you will find that for example, we are going to introduce the Vibhaga Pranayama, understanding 9 parts of your lung on the right and 9 on the left. 9, okay? Not just one lung. 9 parts. In modern medicine, I remember Lavkush is here. We were in medical college together 5 years. We stayed in the same room together. And I remember when I first came to know of what is called bronchopulmonary segments. It's amazing. That it's not just this big lung, but there are individual areas that have their own blood supply, nerve supply, lymphatics. And I'm like, exactly what the yogis have been talking about for thousands of years. That you can breathe into the front, the side, the back of the low, front, side, back of mid, front, side, back of up. 9, 9, 18. 18 areas that you can actually focus your mind. Because where your mind goes, the energy will flow. The statement is, Yatho mana tata prana. And that is why doing pranayama, watching television, is not pranayama again. Even if it is Rajiv's wonderful interviews with all the eminent masters, which are wonderful. I always love the one he did with Sri Deshikachar sir. It's a beautiful interview which I keep on going back to. Watching TV, where's your mind? On TV. So there's no, unless the mind is there, that is why Yatho mana tata prana. So when I place, as Sangeeta will guide you later, when I place my hands mindfully on the lower part of my lung, in the front, and I say, I want to focus on breathing here, the fact that you are putting your mind there will channelize the air to flow predominantly into that area. And the energy will flow into that area. You energize a part of your lung. Now the lower part of your lung is energetically related to the lower part of your body. So if your legs are not good, maybe you are not breathing properly into the lower lung. If you are having cardiovascular and asthmatic issues, it may be the mid lung. If you are having a lot of headaches and tension and neurological psychiatric issues, it may be the upper part of your lung. And this is how in our therapy, we look at the breathing pattern of the individual and we understand how that can be corrected, because when you correct the breathing, you correct the physiological function. So coming back, when the heart is beating, it goes through systole, diastole, systole, diastole, systole, diastole. This systole is when the heart pumps to the whole body, but it doesn't pump to itself. The coronary vessels, during systole, they don't get any blood. It is in diastole that the coronary blood vessels get the blood. The heart takes care of itself only when it relaxes. It is in diastole. Now, how can I change this? By changing the way I breathe. Because if you are breathing at the rate of 75 per minute, cardiac cycle, which was taught to us by our professor Banerjee. Banerjee, our HOD of physiology. Or was it Kier, sir? I don't remember. They'll make one circle and they'll say, this is the whole cardiac cycle, 0.8. And of 0.8 seconds, 0.3 goes for your systole, 0.5 is for diastole, ventricular. And if your heart rate is 75. Now, in case this is over your head, don't worry about it, simplify it. Now, so that means there's 0.3 seconds. So 3 out of the 8 is for pumping, 5 out of the 8 is for relaxing. Right? Now what happens, this is 75 beats, which is a nice heart rate. Suppose your heart rate becomes 120 because you are stressed. What has happened? Cardiac cycle has become 0.5 seconds. Now what happens? The systole is like the merchant of Venice, wants its pound of flesh. He says, I need my 0.3 to do my job. So now who is suffering? The diastole. The faster your heart is going, the less the time for it to relax, and the less time for your heart to relax, the less it is supplying itself. Now say we breathe at the rate of 6 breaths per minute, which we did this morning in Sukha Pranayama. We have published research on how just Sukha Pranayama can be effective in hypertension. You don't have to stand on your head. Simple Sukha Pranayama, 6 breaths per minute. Now say you reduce your heart rate to 60. What has happened? Now you have 1 full second for your cardiac cycle. You still only use 0.3 for the systole. But now see how much you have. You have 0.7 for your diastole. So what has happened is you are giving your heart more time to supply itself, nourish itself. You are giving your heart a self-care moment. When you slow down your heart rate, now how do you slow down your heart rate? Remember I said, when you breathe in, it goes faster. When you breathe out, it goes slower. So which phase do you think we should elongate? Exhalation. See, you're more wise than me now. I don't have to worry about it. So the rest of the sessions you will conduct and I can go home. Or I'll go with Love Kush and we'll see what Delhi looks like. Not that I really want to see what Delhi looks like. This is exactly what we are going to do. So now if I tell someone, let's breathe in for 6 counts. So breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I say we are going to breathe out for double it, 12. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've already lost the person. 9, 10. They're like, Doctor Sahab, I cannot do it. Hamara bas ke baad nahi hai. I cannot do it. So then what do? You use sound. Because sound is produced on the exhalation. And the moment you add sound to it, you say breathe in for 6 counts. And you say now let's breathe out for 12. Because of putting the sound in, what you have done is that you have created an opportunity to extend the exhale for everyone. We have done this work with the Pranayama, where we use the A, Mu, Ma. And I tell you, astonishing in the hospitals with our patients. Every patient who comes to us, and all our departments refer to yoga therapy, music therapy. So we have from cardiology, we have from osteo side, we have from the OG. We do a lot of work. We have done Pranava in antenatal. It is amazing for the mother and the fetus. It's just astonishing what can be done. And they're able to do it. You breathe in for 4. Normally in a hospital setup, I would say 4 count in, 8 out is what we try. We don't go for 6, 12 right away because people are already a bit compromised when they're in hospitals. So you start with a 4 in, 4 out, then make it a 4 in, 6 out, and then a 4 in, 8 out, and then if possible 4 in, 12 out. 1:3. Imagine, it's like the horses that were galloping, you are like Krishna holding it back for the sake of Arjuna and controlling those wild horses which are bolting. That is why when we add this practice, we are going to work on this with the Vibhaga and the Pranava. You will experience how when you make the sound ah, you are energizing the whole lower limb, abdominopelvic region issues, the lower nerve issues, it just energizes. The same thing, the middle part of the body with the oo, ukara nada. So the akara nada, ah. It's a guttural sound. It's not ah. Okay, so it should be ah, ah. It's gut. You should feel it in the nabi. Tyagaraja Swami says that the Sapta Swara, the origin of the chant, in our Saraswati Pearls, there's a chapter on, there's a nice chapter, Rajiv Ji, on Guru Chela in that book. So yesterday when you were mentioning it, I thought about that. And we have talked about the origin of the chant. Where does it come? People say, where does chant come from? Throat. No! Nabi. That is why Tyagaraja Swami says, Nabi Kantavasana Nabi Kantarasana sadulayanto nabi. So from the nabi it has to come through the heart. Nabi, kantarasana, the tongue. Nasadulayanto shobillu sapta swara. The sapta swara, where do they come from? Where does the music come from? Where does the nada? Here, not here. Nowadays you find musicians singing, I don't know where they are singing from. It's not from the nabi at all. And if it's not from the nabi, then for me it's noise, not music. I'm sorry. This is where the origin is. From the nabi. And that is why that should be down there. The oo is oo. Here it is a and then we bring it together. A beautiful sense of prasanna atma indriya mana. You remember I said swast is prasanna atma indriya mana? That prasannata is brought in. A very beautiful sense of ease. So yes, they have listened to me too long.
No.
Please, over to you.
Shall we go straight into the pranayama or the vibhaga?
I think pranava, maybe just a few rounds of the vibhaga too.
Yeah. Three. Okay, perfect. So you can sit up on your chairs. Those of you who would like to sit on the floor to do the practice, you can take on a sitting position that allows you to have your body erect as best as you can. So we will be making the sounds, so let's check in with our voices first, so that you don't come unprepared psychically. So the sound of Sir was saying, is a deep sound, is the beginning of alphabets. All of the alphabets in the Proto-Indo-European branches of languages begin with A. And it is a guttural sound, so one big inhale. Good.
You see how long you could exhale?
Yeah.
You have not been training. You have not been in this session before. This is the first time we have said it. You are trying it. See, this is the accessibility of yoga. Because most people think yoga is inaccessible if you are not flexible. That is a myth. Yoga meets you where you are. And it was just beautiful. You are amazing. I tell you, Rajiv ji, Meenakshi ji, you have really got the cream together. They're just beautiful people.
And
sorry, I keep on interrupting, but it's okay. Sangeeta doesn't mind.
No.
She has no choice.
Right. Then the sound travels up. The oo is a guttural palatal sound. So it's a little bit higher. Ooh. Now with the oo, you can bring your lips forward, but don't tense the mouth. Inhale fully. They're going to 1,
1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 4. Good.
Yeah.
I was thinking of 1, 2, but you're actually coming to what we normally work on a 1, 3. And you're actually easily doing that.
So we'll do that.
Really good. So we make it a 1, 3, and the heart is just going to be really loving you today.
Love
you.
And then the last one, the so with the there's a tendency to do some strange facial expressions that are not needed. Try to relax your face as best as you can. Inhale. Wow. Okay, very good. When we come to the three parts together, there's a miracle that happens here, which is where the Om is so intelligent of a sound. There's a great intelligence, a cosmic intelligence, because the Om is the opening of the mouth into the Ah, as in the creation, the physical manifestation, and then gently closing the lips. There's no Ah, But if you can see for one moment, and then the sound travels up from the nose up. So there's no separation, so you were talking about splitting and separating and creating division and as a source of stress. Even in our face, we don't need to create aum as separate to perform the mantra. In fact, we're simply opening and closing like the galaxy movement. Spanda nishpanda. So it's beautiful there. You know? So that's where we're going, but before, we need to make sure that we can feel the different sections. So these practices at the ashram, in the teachings of Swami Gitananda and Dr. Ananda, they take weeks. So now we'll just go through them a little bit quickly, okay? So the floating ribs, so your sternum is here, right? And then underneath here, you will find the ribs that are floating or that they move. Yes, perfect. This is the lower section of the lungs. As you exhale, rather than thinking up, just think forward. See if you can move your hands forward just a little bit. Okay, so exhale to prepare. Breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale and squeeze the air out without collapsing. 2, 3, without collapsing. 4, 5, 6. Inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. Inhale. Exhale. And we'll do one more here. Inhale. Exhale. Congratulations. You probably got in touch with the low section, front section of your lungs for the first time in your life. That's a big deal. Now from here, just move to the side. That's where the second, so if you can bring your hands just there, a little bit higher, and then adjust to how your body feels. But if you can, actually it's right in the side. It's not just here, it's to the side. Yeah, perfect. Just adjust to how you feel comfortable. Shouldn't feel pain. Okay, exhale. Exhale means push the air out. Inhale. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. Start to also become aware that there's not much sound that you need to create in the nostrils. Exhale. The sound in the nostrils is a choice. Just keep that in mind. Inhale. Very nice, very good. Exhale. Shake off a little bit. Shake your head. The posture may at first feel a little tight. Shake. Make the sound. Very nice. Not exactly the same picture perfect image of some yoga journals where you have the teacher. So much more human. So you to turn, but just to show you where this is, the low section of the lungs, back side. So from here, if you can, just turn the hands and point the fingers towards the spine. So for those of you who are here, now this could be a little bit intense. So if that's difficult for you, adjust. That's okay. So exhale. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale. Move the hands as best as you can. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Keep the chin closer to the jugular notch. Do not put the chin forward too much. Exhale. Wonderful. Relax. Yeah. Let's catch it. Whatever that was. Good. It will all come out of the room. Continuing on.
Yeah. So here what we have done is we have looked at the front, the side and the back of the lower lobe of your lung. And the moment you place your hand, the hand is an extension of the heart. So you can feel better. So you feel and then your mind can go. So yesterday we talked about what to do with head and heart going in different ways. When you do this type of practice, you are yoking the head and the heart together, the mind and the emotions together. You know, we often say, I think something and I feel something. You're bringing it together. And what is yoking? It is yuj. Yujjate anena iti yogaha. And so this is where it becomes a yoga. So some of this, it's your joints may feel a bit odd, but don't worry. This is just to get you feeling. As she said, our students in the ashram for one whole month, they do this daily until you really know your lungs in and out. And once you know your lungs in and out, you can utilize your capacity to its fullest. Otherwise, it's like a teacher coming to the educational institution 3 days in a month, or a student coming 3 days in a month, or a worker coming 3 times in a month to the job. You're not going to pay them the full salary, I hope, right? The same thing here. You want to maximize your potential. We are breathing less than 10% of our capacity. And then COVID comes, and even the 10% of capacity was wiped out. What we are doing with this sound, the ah, oo, ma, we have done studies at our hospital during COVID. And oxygen saturations which were in the low 90s or even in the higher 80s came past 95, 96, 97 with this pranayama. Because again, it was shown that humming increases what is called endogenous nitric oxide, which enables the blood vessels to dilate. And the biggest problem in COVID was not just the lungs, but the microvascular circulation. And this is where this type of practice, I had so many people would phone me, Dr. Saab, I have come back from the hospital, but still I cannot walk from one room to the next without being breathless. I said, try the pranava. 3 days later, they phone, I'm perfect. It's wonderful. It was like miracle. Even see, I'm a believer, but even for me, it was unbelievable. That was the type of improvement. And so we did a pilot study where we showed that doing the pranava pranayama enhances the oxygen saturation. And so this practice is not just for COVID time. Imagine the rest of the time your microvascular circulation, which is under threat in all lifestyle disorders, all non-communicable disorders affect your microvascular circulation. And this opens up microvascular circulation, enhances what we call tissue perfusion. And when your tissues are perfused by healthy blood, you will heal better. So thinking of that healing, let's go to the mid-chest.
So for the mid-chest, sit up as best as you can. Now, you found the sternum here, so right in the center of the chest. Keep all of the fingers together, including the thumbs, in a relaxed way over the chest. So you don't have to, be tense at the hands, but right in the center of the chest, where the sternum is, the center of the sternum, okay? Exhale here, relax your shoulders down and back, relax your mouth. No stress in the face. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, squeeze the air out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Very good. Inhale. Exhale. Shoulders relaxed, lips relaxed, chin slightly in. Last one, inhale. Exhale. You feel the heat in your hands and the pranic touch of the Sparsha Mudra. Now come to the sides as best as you can. Lovely. Perfect. Now everybody, please pull your shoulders down and back a little bit and bring the chin forward and chin back to find that place in between where you're at least tense as you can. Good. Okay. You can keep your eyes open if you're falling asleep or thinking about some family member somewhere. Just stay here, present, okay? Exhale. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Beautiful. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathing in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in. Breathe out. Relax for a moment. Just observe what's there for you, what's happening with increased oxygenation of the blood. And then open your eyes and place the thumb inside of your hand and just roll your hands, because that position may sometimes create some stress in the wrist. Just better make sure there's no stress there, and shake your hands. Good, good. Inhale. And relax. Shake your head. Who are sitting on the floor, if you need to stretch your legs, and just, I won't repeat it, just go ahead and do it, it's fine. As I show you where the mudra is in the back. Now, for those of you who have a hard time placing the hand there, because you have a chair, if you wish, you can just try to stay erect, but you can push the chair and feel that area of the lung. That's also a modification. Otherwise, we were here, right? We were right here. So from here, again, just put the fingers towards the spine, thumbs together. If that's impossible, the thumbs can also open. You know, there's different modification. So find your sweet spot. Exhale. Move the hands as best as you can. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In. Out. There's a tendency to bring the chin forward. Make sure the chin is in line. Last one in. Out. Relax your hands. Just take a moment to witness yourself. What's happening in your lungs, in the intercostal muscle system, and in your mind too. Just observe one or two breaths more. See if you can have a sensation of the lower section as one unit, the middle section as one unit. Just explore with your mind. Very good. And shall we continue in the upper sections?
Upper, well done.
Okay. So now, find the collarbones. Sorry for the mic, I know I keep touching this microphone. Okay, I'll do my best. The collarbone on the middle finger is coming from the collarbone down in a diagonal, like this. Yes, thumbs together. And then the rest of the hands gently, the rest of the fingers gently together. Thumbs together. Yeah, perfect. Sit up. Breathe out to begin. Breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Excellent, everyone. Breathe in. Breathe out. As Dr. Ananda said, enhance your capacity to feel the prana. Inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. Relax your hands, shake them a bit. Shake your head. Good, good. Now the side section of the upper portion of the lungs, it's right into the armpit. So it's difficult to do a sparsha mudra there. So what Swamiji has designed is this posture where your hands are on your lap and you open up the space right under the armpits. without holding the shoulders up. No,
Yeah.
the shoulders are relaxed.
Just a point here. So in the West, you were focusing on where the hands were. That was the focus. Here, you are placing it down at the hip, but the mind focus is under your armpits. Because in the armpits, there are a lot of lymphatics and nerve that you don't want to compress and create, an issue there. So though your hand is placed down here, your focus is under your armpits, and the lung under that should be expanding. So that is where your mind should be. Yeah, please continue.
Breathe out to prepare. Breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, out. In, out. Wonderful. Stay here for a moment. Continue breathing. Relax. Now we're bringing our mind to focus on the posterior apical region of the lungs, which is right under the large muscles of the trapezius. So bring your hands up and then place them over the trapezius. Try to keep your elbows close to the ears. But of course, adjust in any way that you need to. Okay, so exhale, breathe out to begin. Breathe in. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in. Breathe out. Make sure your spine is aligned and that you're not bringing your tummy out too much. Breathe in. And breathe out. Very gently, in a gradual manner, relax your arms. If you need to roll your hands, roll your hands. But just take a moment, put your hands on your lap. Take a moment, allow the mind to think about all of these different areas that we have explored and that you may not have explored before. So take a moment to rethink front, side, back of the lower, front, side, back of the middle, and front, side, back of the upper, so that you can contemplate this for a few more breaths. Also begin to make it a habit to think of all of these areas as potential areas of breath and enhancement of prana throughout the day, not only when you're practicing it. And very good.
We will now go into the sound.
Yes, so do you want to talk a little bit?
Yeah. So this is a practice where you are gaining awareness of these 9 areas: front, side, back, front, side, back, front, side, back. So you have 9 on the right, 9 on the left, and you are understanding that you can mindfully guide the breath, and through the vehicle of the breath, guide the prana into those regions to enhance a 360-degree functioning of your lungs. Most people, and I've seen this even when I travel so many countries with yoga teachers, that they don't realize they can breathe into the back of the lungs. Most people, they think breathing is only on the front. And then everybody's like, this is breathing. They forget there's something called side and totally neglect the back. So by doing this, you are enhancing the possibility of mind-body harmony. Now the other thing we are going to do here is now add on to this. When you were doing this is called Manduka Mudra, I was just remembering a neurosurgeon friend of mine in the hospital who had a very bad neck problem, and on top of that was called to the emergency to take care of a road traffic accident and a 6-hour surgery. Next day he came to me, he said, my neck is paining like anything. I don't know what to do. Is there a quick fix I can have? And I don't know what got into me. Normally I don't believe in quick fixes. But I said, let us try this. And he did this manduka. And after doing this, he's like, doctor, there's no pain. I feel totally perfect. And you know what he did? From the hospital to his house, which is 1 kilometer, he was in the quarters, he walked home with his hands like that. Because he said, I feel so good doing this. I always remember that, because normally I don't believe in quick fixes, but whenever you have upper back, neck issues, this is one of the best things you can do. It just opens up the prana into this whole area. Because what are you doing? That posterior apical region of the lungs where you are never breathing, suddenly life force is coming in, healing is coming in, and you have channelized the healing energy using the mind. And this is why these practices work. And this is why mindfulness again. People today have taken mindfulness out of yoga. So you have a lot of mindless yoga, which then is not yoga at all, because if it's mindless, it's not yoga. But the mindfulness of the practice is so essential. And often, maybe in one of the later sessions, we'll have you all line up. The kids play train. And what we'll do is have you place your hands on the back of the person in front of you and start to see if we can feel each other's breathing together. I think it would be a good play activity in this afternoon, where, post-lunch, everybody is going to be like going into, yoga nidra and shushupti. So we have to keep you alert, and we'll play.
We'll play games.
It's supposed to be for golden years, but we'll make it playful.
Yes.
Because life is to be playful. Life is to be joyful. We are now just going to do 3 rounds of the sound A. And I want you to just keep your hands on the lower part of your lungs, but think of the whole lower lung. Okay, so it's not just the front we want to work, we want the whole lower lung, but this is just for the anchoring the mind. Then we will place our hands on the middle lung, the whole middle lung area where we want to anchor the mind for the U, and then up here when we want to anchor for the M. And then what we will do is we'll just bring our hands down to the thighs, contemplate low, mid, high, and when we breathe out, there will be 1/3 of the time for A, 1/3 of the time for U, 1/3 of the time for M. So we are just going to do this, keeping time in, keeping the clock in mind. We will again be teaching you some of the mudras. We'll do it in the post-lunch session, where we'll bring in the pranava as an extended practice with the mudras, which are excellent for the small joint health. And we will do some of the mudras that go with this. But for now, placing your hands on the lower lung, but remember, we want the whole lower lung area to be conceptualized. Breathing out. Taking in a deep breath, low lung, front, side, back. Breathing in, front, side, back. A 3rd time, front, side, back. Lower your hands to the thighs. And just contemplate the beautiful energies in this lower lung area that will be sending healing vibrations into the lower part of the whole body, the lower limb, the abdomen of pelvic structures. Bringing hands to the mid-chest area for the mid-lung madhyama pranayama part. Breathing out. Breathing in, front, side, back. Breathing in, front, side, back. Once more, front, side, back. Relaxing your hands to the lap, on the thighs, contemplating the mid-chest region and the energies you have harnessed to help with cardiovascular, respiratory health, energizing the heart center, the Anahata chakra, that is correlated with our thymus, a sense of being young at heart, that youthfulness. Bringing your hands now to the upper chest region for the Adhyama Pranayama. Breathing out. Breathing in, front, side, back. Breathing in, front, side, back. Again, front, side, back. Bring your hands down to the lap and become aware of the healing energies that have been potentiated into the head and neck region, all the amazing areas of the brain, all the special senses, the cranial nerves, a beautiful sense of lightness in the whole head and neck region. Keeping your hands on the thighs for now, or you can perform the yoga mudra interlocking the fingers. Let us contemplate on low, mid and high. So it should be low, front, side, back, mid, front, side, back, and high, front, side, back. And then we'll be breathing out with the ah for 1/3 of the time, the oo for the next third, and for the final third. So breathing out, breathe in, low, mid, high. Again, front side back low, mid, and high. The final round, low, mid, and high. Sitting in that stillness, become aware of the beautiful potentiation of healing energies to the low, mid, and upper parts of the lungs, enhancing healing in the lower part of the body, the abdominopelvic, the thoracic, and the head and neck region. A beautiful sense of harmony percolating into every one of our trillions of cells. A beautiful sense of sukham, ease, a sense of wellness, a sense of comfort, and a sense of just being. With your eyes closed, begin to rub your palms together, generating nice heat. Placing the warm palms over your eyes and letting the warmth percolate into your eyes. Beginning to blink into the semi-darkness of your closed palms. And slowly bringing your hands down to the lap as you open up to the external world. How did that feel? Good? You had a sense of sukha, saukya, arogya. This is how you center yourself. This is how you ground yourself. Because we have become ungrounded elements. You can take a few questions maybe.
While in these breathing exercises for lungs, my stomach tends to go and I was breathing from my stomach.
Yeah. See, yeah.
That goes in. That's supposed to go in.
What happens is actually when you breathe out, the lungs are going in. When you breathe in, the lungs are expanding. So actually the biomechanics are, but many people make a mistake saying, push your belly out and breathe. It's not, you don't breathe with your belly. It is the lungs breathing. The most important muscle of breathing is diaphragm. And so the diaphragm goes down. So when the diaphragm goes down, the abdominal contents will try to find a place to go because of the pressure. And when you breathe out, you are breathing out because the diaphragm is coming up. And then the abdominal contents can go back. Again, a good reason why deep breathing is good for the abdominal region. So it is the movement of the diaphragm primarily. But there's a lot of stuff in modern yoga where they say, push your belly out and it's okay. We digest with our digestive system. We don't breathe with the digestive system. But thank you for that. Yes, please.
So, when we breathe out, should our mouth be closed or,
Well, it depends on what we are doing. If I'm doing the ah, I have to open my mouth. Ooh, I have to, it will be
if
closed.
there's no sound and you're just doing
Yeah.
the six.
Ideally, it is better that the mouth is closed and we focus on breathing through the nose. In yoga, unless there is a specific instruction, we don't do mouth breathing. So mouth breathing will only be done in a certain situations. We do a good practice for the summer, which is called Kukraha Pranayama, where we go like a dog panting. It's amazing to cool your whole system down, physically, mentally. So then there's a purpose. But otherwise, normally we say breathe in through the nostril, breathe out through the nostril. So, yeah.
Yeah, at the outset I must say that it's a new experiment in pranayama because you don't find it in the literature. So
Yeah.
I compliment you for that. There are two questions. One is that when you are in the shunya state, when you are exhaling and there is the air which has gone out, a lot of yogis hold that for too long and try to communicate with their soul. So is that practice possible to be done? And then even in the Anulom Vilom, you have the Vishuddhi Pranayama in which you try to hold back and you try to... So what should one do in these cases of Shunya? Because Dalai Lama has talked about a lot of things in Shunya state.
Yeah.
So when you are absolutely exhaling and you have no breath inside your body, you are in communication with something which is much more deeper.
So true.
What should one do and how long one should practice this?
Yeah. I would like to clarify that when we talk of yoga practices, what we need to understand is the way the practice is introduced to an ordinary person is different. The way an expert yogi does it will be different. So when we talk about this communication and going into that shunya avastha, it is upon many years of dedicated practice that comes. So for newcomers, you are never going to ask them to hold out the breath for a long time. In fact, the sequence of training is normally breathe in, breathe out for equal count, then breathe in and double the count out, then do in, held out for equal count, then do in, held out for equal count, then in, double the time held, double the time out, single count. So there's a whole sequence in which the sadhana should be done. An expert yogi practicing that shunyaka is definitely desirable at that point. However, in our tradition we are very practical. That we have to live in this world, you have to be in the world, even if you are not of it, you have to be in the world, and hence we do not suggest people to go into spiritual states that will then impact their day-to-day living. Because we often find people use spirituality as an excuse to not do what they should do. And that is, today they call it spiritual bypassing. They actually call it, there's a term now, spiritual bypassing. So for us, if the more spiritual you become, the more humane you should be. The more spiritual you are, the more grounded you are. The more spiritual you are, the more caring you are. The more spiritual you are, the more compassionate you are. So I believe that the goal of all of this, though we say is mukti, nirvana, kaivalya, at the same time we must not forget that we are part of this mass of humanity. We are part of a mass, a greater mass of life forms. And that while we are here, we should at least live with minimal damage. So though these practices are advocated, it is important that it is addressed step by step. And even Krishna says of thousands of people who are there, one will want to come to me. And of thousands who want to come to me, only one gets to me. So Krishna's success rate is 1 in a million. So I feel I'm always better than that in my success rate, that at least I have a couple of people. But it is 1 in a million that we are talking about. And yes, those states are important. But from my perspective as someone who bridges modern medicine and traditional healing, I would like to see the quality of life for each individual enhanced. I would like to see them become the best version of themselves and develop a harmonious relationship with others who are part of humanity. So that's just my submission there. Had a question here.
Yeah.
Breathing exercise.
Yes.
Inhale in and inhale out.
Yes.
When you do this exercise of breathing in and breathing out, some people are able to withhold the breath for longer time as compared to others.
Yeah.
Will the practice of pranayama improve the heart health status of the person?
Definitely. Definitely, yes. Again and again, studies have shown that if you breathe healthy, your heart is going to be healthy. And if you breathe healthy, every cell in your body is going to be healthy. Because we have cellular metabolism. So your cells are constantly using the oxygen and producing the carbon dioxide. So when you breathe healthy, the turnover of oxygen, we call it internal respiration and external respiration. What happens in your lungs is external respiration. At your tissue level is internal respiration. So when you do the pranayama practices, definitely both the external and internal respiration is enhanced. And when that internal respiration is enhanced, your mitochondria, which are the powerhouse of your cell, are going to function better. You feel a sense of energy that then radiates as what we call tejas. And that is why pranayama sadhana enhances the tejas that we can have.
Can I say something, sir?
Yeah, please.
There's a tendency that we have when we inhale and when we exhale to tense. Even if you're not aware of it, you're inhaling and somewhere in the body there will be a tension. So if it is possible, as you inhale greatly and you start to feel the tension, to relax. Go in and see where the tension is and relax and expand. That's going to help you increase slowly the time. The same when you exhale, there's a point that is our habit. And we go against the habit of exhaling just a little bit and inhaling just a little bit. When you exhale, there's a point exactly where you'll need to make the effort to squeeze the air out. It's diaphragmatic control. And that sometimes you have your shoulders up, your jaw, your neck, and that will make you feel like you can't exhale anymore. So catch that and relax, and you'll gain 2, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds sometimes. So that's also something.
Very beautiful practical advice there. Yes.
Sure. Let me give you an example. You're going to inhale. At some point, you'll start to feel the pressure, and you may raise your shoulders and tighten your throat. If you relax that, you can continue to inhale for a few more counts. As you exhale, there's a point, right, where the diaphragm is actually going to come up naturally, but you're asking it to compress even more, to relax, but compress also. And as it comes up, the intercostal muscles are tensing. So you'll feel this moment as you exhale, where you feel like you can't exhale anymore. If you relax it, you can exhale more. So just to pay attention to where the tension rises, and with your mind, ask your body gently to relax. Because the capacity to inhale and exhale is not just coming from the lungs. In fact, it's coming from muscle tension, the diaphragm, the intercostal muscles. And those are nerves, the phrenic nerves, the vagus nerve, that give the information. So it is a mind-body mechanism. So if you're telling your body to relax, as it is squeezing, so it's kind of paradoxical, but it isn't. You can squeeze in a relaxed way, and you can expand in a relaxed way. But naturally, the nervous system will be like, oh, what are you doing? It's out of the norm. Are you okay? And then you'll be like, oh, no, I can't breathe anymore. Ah. And instead, you can really, the more relaxed we are, the more we can breathe, until that state, perhaps, if I understand you correctly, where you don't need to breathe. Only through relaxation that will come. Yes, of course.
cells start exhaling.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the internal respiration I already mentioned.
Yes. Exactly. Right. Exactly. It's
Some
all
people-
connected.
You know, I think one thing with us human beings is always that we don't understand the difference between hearing and listening. Hearing is a physiological phenomena. Listening is a psychological phenomena. Please.
Sir, I just want to ask this thing that you mentioned about 6 breaths per minute.
Yeah.
For a layman, I mean, how can we achieve something close to that?
It's very easy because when we think of it, we think I'm breathing 15 to 16 times per minute.
Yeah.
How can it become 6? You just time the count for 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out, which is possible unless somebody is having respiratory compromised system. Definitely breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So consciously, definitely it works.
Yeah.
But I'm just so can we, if we do this?
I'm not suggesting that you will have 6 breaths per minute the whole day. What I'm saying is whenever you are mindful of it, you bring it to 6 breath.
Yeah.
The more you do that, the more you are bringing in the mindfulness into your body systems. So if you are walking and it is 6, it is not needed.
Yeah. So the
Yeah.
body. And so this meditation also improves. Where does this meditation sits in lung capacity? Does it also, because it obviously goes into the parasympathetic?
Yeah, meditation on its own will not change your lung capacity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does it?
But when the meditation is part of practice, which is why I'm using the term mindfulness instead of meditation here, because for me the term meditation is exalted term. Sitting with your eyes closed is contemplation, not meditation for me. So for me, dhyana is the heart of yoga. So I'm using the term mindfulness. The moment mindfulness is brought into your every action, you're going to find cellular improvement, as Sir was saying. Every cell will dance with joy.
Sir, maybe one more question.
Follow-up question on
Yeah.
if you are mindful, you're talking to yourself while doing the exercise,
Exactly.
right? And how long is it good for? I mean, in the sense, once you leave it and you go to your day-to-day activity,
Yeah.
you cannot, as you said,
True.
breathe 6 times in a day.
Yeah.
Let's say if somebody does that for an hour, is it good to take care of the rest 23 hours?
Definitely yes, because see, it is like, I will give an example of the heart rate. So normal heart rate, because most people are around 80, 85 is where most people are today. We talk of that magic number 72, which is again utopian. It's just an arbitrary number. Most people, if you look at the heart rate, it's 80 to 90 is where people are. Now, if that person were every day to go for a half an hour walk, what you will find at the end of 6 weeks is the heart rate is going to be closer to 70 than 80. So what they did for half an hour a day starts to impact them every minute of the day. So this is where again and again I come back to the regularity, repetition and rhythm of one sadhana. Saying I went to a yoga class once 5 years ago is not going to keep you healthy today. But if you do your yoga every day, if you cannot do it every day, you are doing it 3 times a week, fine. 3 times a week, never stop that. If you can do 6 days a week, do it. If you can do 30 minutes every day, do it. If you can only do 20, do 20. But one day 10 minutes, then for 1 month you don't do, and then suddenly you do 2 hours, the body systems are not getting trained.
I fully endorse that, because I can say that I've been doing it for the last 20, 25 years, and it's the best thing.
Absolutely.
Wherever you are in the world, you are in your room, you get up and do it.
Absolutely. That is the key. That is the key. Perseverance.
So, yeah, I had a question about bradycardia, which is
Yeah.
low heart rate.
Yeah.
So, should people with bradycardia also practice pranayams which
Absolutely.
slow down your heart rate further?
Absolutely. You see, what happens is that the body is very intelligent, and the homeostatic mechanisms will never want you to go lower than normal or higher than normal. So the body is constantly saying, this person is higher than normal, bring them to normal. This person is lower than normal, bring them up to normal.
Okay.
So when you got it.
So 50 is okay? I have 50 and
Yeah, it's
sometimes
okay.
40.
As long as you are not blacking out. See, my thing is, I have a student who's from Switzerland. she climbs the Alps all the time. Her resting, you test her heart rate, it's in the 40s. Now, if you go into the hospital and they say 40, they're going like, something's wrong with you. But the thing is, yeah, immediately they go into that. So the thing is that there is something, again the problem, and we are getting late for lunch, but I just want to put it out. We have come to certain average numbers rather than understanding each individual is different. So we have taken 10,000 people and we said the heart rate should be 60 to 100. We ended up with 60 to 100. But maybe for you, that 60 is where you are in Sukhasthanam. So unless, the only time I would say you should try to change it is if there's not enough blood going to your brain and you're fainting and falling down, then yes, then it has become pathological. But if you are able to function at your optimal health, that is your normal. And what yoga does, we always talk about yoga reducing weight. We did studies where children who were underweight, the weight came up. They actually gained weight after yoga because yoga wants samatvam, yoga wants harmony, yoga wants balance. So higher than normal, bring it to normal. Lower than normal, bring it to normal. Find your individual normal. And the last question, we had a hand in the back for a long time. Delhi and air. When I saw pranayama in Delhi, I'm like, seriously.
Yeah, so I work in air pollution for the last 10 years, and because of all the research that I have read and understood and tried to simplify, I found that I had started breathing very shallowly. Because I didn't want all the PM 2.5 particles depositing in my lungs. And so I took an active and proactive way of trying to learn different pranayams. So my one quick question was, which would be, in your view, a simple go-to pranayam? Because I have learned many different pranayams and I'm a little confused because some have kumbhaka, you hold breath in, and what he was asking. So one is that a very simple go-to pranayama, and the second more important question, any guidance on what to do when you cannot but live in pollution which is growing, and 99% of India actually does not live in clean air which follows WHO standards. Yeah. If there's any guidance.
The first part is the easy one I'll tackle. Bhramari Pranayama is my go-to. So if you had to choose one pranayama, Bhramari has amazing potential. Coming to what do you do when you are in polluted environment? Can you create your own space which is safe for you? So can you have plants where you are? Because the plants, the trees are going to at least make the air better around where you are. When you come to my ashram, you will see we have trees everywhere, we have plants everywhere. We do the pranayama sadhana in a hut which is made of the coconut leaves. We are on the ocean so that you maximize what you can where you are. So one is that if you are in a position where you can change from a polluted environment to a non-polluted, please do that. If you cannot, can in your own environment you create an optimal space for yourself and for those who you love. Because if we wait for the government to change it, it will never happen. I often think Kumbhaka is the only pranayama you should do all the time. But that's good as a joke, but practically, be the change you want to see, okay? And that's not just quoting Gandhi. If I want respect, I should respect others. If I want love, I should love others. If I want to be given, I should give others. And if I want a healthy environment, I have to create it where I am, to the best of my ability.